How we doing? If I could tell someone that the markets are controlled by an algorithm, and if I had to prove that, I would show you today's price action because today's price action was like everything you could expect for. Like there's so much in this. Like I was studying this for probably like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I was just looking at what price does. And yes, this is hindsight. I don't claim to like predict all this. I'm a student. There are gray areas in my understanding. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I thought that today's price action was beautiful, and yeah. So I wanted to have this in a slideshow so I could like kind of. I didn't want to mess anything up because I thought it was so clean. But so I'm gonna do the higher time frames on a slideshow to give the framework, and then we're gonna drop into TradingView, and then I'm going to break it down through TradingView because I didn't want to like mess anything up. But this is ES right here. So off of ES today, we were working off this daily breaker right here because we did take liquidity here, I believe. And then this also is like a down close candle range. We had sell side delivered here, then buy side delivered here with this imbalance. So this area is going to be a high confidence area. If we want to continue heading higher, we will likely continue heading higher off of this breaker block right here. And as you can see today, we had this beautiful delivery. Look at the wick on that candle all the way back up. And yeah, so here's the 1 hour blank chart, and I want to have a blank chart in here just to kind of keep in perspective. And then here are my annotations. Right here we have this new week opening gap, and then I threw in these new day opening gaps as well because they all got used today very nicely. And as you can see here, we have this 1 hour order block right here. We have this 1 hour fair value gap right here. I know it's a little bit messy. But all of these really do pertain to what price did today. And the other day, I was talking about this rejection block over here. If we pin out in time, you see how it got respected there. It also got respected here. And then we also took previous day low right there. This is the previous, or this is the PM session low. Yeah, PM session low, not previous day low. This is PM session low. So I actually did mess that up later, but we'll see. And then on top of that, this SMT only matters with the context to what price is doing here. So we end up forming an SMT at a certain time of the day within all these confluences right there. And then here is the 15-minute chart, just to give you more perspective. And this is NQ, by the way, sorry. Previous day low, sorry, this should be previous PM session low. And then now we have 15-minute change of state delivery, and then this 15-minute fair value gap. And as you see, order flow gets shifted. Right here, this is 9:30. This is where 9:30 opens. We come up, we have a Judah swing, and then we sell back off to then shift order flow here to then head higher. All right, let's just get into the charts. Let's just get in the charts and let me break this down. All right, so basically, wait, it's my wrong chart. Yeah, this should be it. Okay. So I'm gonna remove this. So let's kind of just replay this a little bit because I don't want to miss things. So we come right here and market opens up. Anytime the market opens up, I am looking at where's the low resistance liquidity. Where's the low resistance liquidity? Right here, we have low resistance liquidity right here. And what is the underlying order flow? Order flow has been bearish. We're bearish order flow. We're respecting up close candles, respecting up close candles. Order flow is bearish. We can see that if we zoom out to the 15-minute, even the hourly order flow currently is bearish. So then what is price likely to do at market open? We're likely going to manipulate, have some form of Judas swing on the market. So we end up coming up, manipulating straight into this fair value gap. And if we look at ES at the time as well, to kind of show us this SMT that we formed. And this SMT doesn't mean anything unless if we consider the time this happens, as well as the PDRA surrounding that. You have the order block right there in this fair value gap. And I do want to pull this up because look at where, I'll have to play this out, but look at where exactly to the tick we end up repricing right into this previous new day opening gap. I only use new day opening gaps if they're like 5 days or like the previous like weeks opening gaps I'll use if we're within that price area, because these will get respected, as you see right there. Got respected to the tick. So this could have been a possible trade if we're looking at this. You have into that new week opening gap at a certain time, 9:30. We create a fair value gap. I think this is a little volume. That's a little volume imbalance right there. Up close candle, change state delivery right there. Inverse fair value gap. We have low resistance liquidity to low of us. What are you looking to target? We have these lows here, and on top of that, we have all these failure swings here, which could have, which made the setup a little bit better. Is the fact that we have all these we have all these failure swings, which I was kind of expecting the market to go here, but it didn't, because we end up having the Judas swing at market open. And then we come right in, take liquidity here within this new week opening gap. If I zoom out to the daily, I believe, yeah. No, the hourly, sorry, my bad. We have that 1 hour order block, that 1 hour fair value gap that we're filling all the way as well. And then we have SMT. Notice on the 5 minute how there's 5 minute bodies that are displacing lower, but if you zoom out to the 1 hour, this will now become a wick to show that we're respecting these imbalances. All right, so right here, right now, we're back within new week opening gap. We possibly could reject here. We're within a 1 hour fair value gap. We're within a 1 hour order block right here. Order flow. If we zoom out to the daily time frame, what has order flow been? It's been bullish. It's been bullish. And on top of that, we've now formed an SMT at the lows. But I'm not going to qualify this SMT. Sorry, I need to get rid of this. I'm not going to qualify the SMT unless if there's framework around the trade. And there is framework around the trade. And look at what time this is happening at. It's happening at 9:50. It's setting the stage for the 10 a.m. distribution. So if you don't know, 9:50 to 10:10 is a macro, because a lot of the times it will start that move. And that's pretty much exactly what ends up happening here. Come in. And on the 1 minute, if we drop down, we have 1 minute change in state delivery here. And then we create this order block, this breaker block, this fair value gap at a certain time. Look at the time that we trade right back into there, 10 a.m. What's significant about 10 a.m.? It's when 10 a.m. expansion happens, silver bullets. I would look at ICT. He definitely has better videos than what I can explain, because I'm still a student. And we come back in here into that breaker, into this inversion as well. And notice, I don't really want to bring this up, but there's a thing called root candles, and they're pretty much, I'm not going to get deep dive into it, but basically 953 is a root candle, and we end up respecting that 953 candle exactly. So that right there is like the best entry you could get. Okay, maybe you didn't see that right when it traded there. Okay, just enter right here. Just enter right here. Close proximity entry. Where's your stop? Probably below this low or below this low. Below mean threshold of this order block. Below this low here, because that's a breaker. Below this low, you can put there. You can target here. You can target a liquidity pool up here as well. You could also probably target an imbalance. Where's a 1 hour imbalance? You could target the top of that imbalance. Alright, so let's keep on going here. Order block right here. Let's see where ES is at right here. I believe we just slow chop up here. Just bullish order flow gets respected. Speed it up a little bit. And then we end up taking draw on liquidity. Look at all these order blocks get respected perfectly. We're also generating low resistance liquidity here. And then we put these equal lows in here. All right, we're gonna speed this up, and then we end up putting I don't know. We end up taking this high here, this high right here, and then we end up coming back down, having a run on stops, running out stops here. But where are we going to? Where are we repricing to? We have this 15-minute order fair value gap, but as well, that new day opening gap gets repriced to about a tick away. But for the most part, that gap here is this constant encroachment of this wick. Look at that too, constant encroachment of that wick. Also, this breaker right here. You have a high, low. You have a high, low, higher high. That becomes your breaker. Expand that out in time. That's where we head into. Okay, maybe you missed the morning move. Okay, we still have this high that we've yet to liquidate. If you look at ES at this time, ES still has room to expand the upside. And if we look at ES has left low resistance liquidity. And I want to look at ES here, because ES is accumulating price within its new week opening gap. If we look at this green box here is a new week opening gap, and that's right where ES is reaccumulating longs within. And then right here, we end up having a change in state of delivery here. And look at this candle. We had news at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Look at where price comes back into. Is that an imbalance? Sorry. No, it's not. We have this candle is a root candle. 1034 is a root candle. I don't want to go too much into it, but pretty much price went right to that. Did we have a 2-minute gap there on ES? I feel like there was something. Just the order block? Sorry. Yeah, we come right back in that order block, and then we come up to take these highs. So that would have been a nice entry at that news, and boom, we rally. And throughout the rest of the day, down close candles are supporting price. Oh, and I forgot to mention that SMT. That SMT confirms that smart money reversal. And then right here, at the end of the day, we end up having SMT here into a 15-minute fair value gap to then displace higher. Oh, yeah, there's something else I was going to point out. Yeah, let's go back to, here, let me exit replay mode. If you come back and look at that same time, we put a low in this new day opening gap, and then we have news at 1. Where do we drop down to? Right to that new week opening gap, new day opening gap right there. We have SMT at the lows. This order block is being respected. Anything on the 3-minute, 2-minute order block range, 1-minute order block range right at 1, and also this order block range right here gets respected perfectly at the certain time that news releases right there. You have these consecutive down close candles that price comes back into at a certain time of the day with that new week opening gap, new day opening gap, with the SMT, with underlying premise that we're bullish. We want to expand higher. And then after that, we end up causing an expansion to the upside. And yes, we have taken these highs here, so it would be a little bit less likely. But we still have this draw on liquidity right here. We still have that draw on liquidity. And then we come back down where to exactly to the tick? A previous new day opening gap. This was actually today's new day opening gap. This was today's new day opening gap. Expand higher. Fair value gap right there. Price just keeps on accumulating higher. And I also wanted to point out this right here, because I thought it was also like cool to see. We have this high right here. Window highs when are highs able to be used as real support is when they're aligned with the fair value gap. Right here, we have a fair value gap in line with that previous high. It gets used as support only because there's a fair value gap there that now turns into a PD ray. Then we displace higher. And then I want to break down this fractal right here in price. We end up, we're in all-time highs here, so it's a little bit less probable, but still the same concepts are still able to be applied here. If we zoom to the 1 minute, we end up generating low resistance liquidity signature, low resistance liquidity signature. Price comes back down to where? Into this 1 minute fair value gap. It also, look at this high right here. This high right here is that pretty much that low. I think it goes a tick away. But think about this. Think about this. Think about this. Think about this in terms of delivery. So right now, you have sell side offered right here. And then, let me see if I can change the color real quick. And then this whole area is buy side. So you have buy side offered here. This is all buy side. Sorry, let me draw that out like this. So then you have buy side delivered here. So then the market is going to look to, or the algorithm is going to look to reprice back to this previous area of selling to offer fair value within the market. And as you can see, that gets hit right there. And then if you're waiting, because you're not just going to enter, just enter, you're waiting. What ends up happening? We end up changing the state of delivery here, on the 1 minute, come back into this fair value gap. That could be an entry, but you're waiting. Maybe you want to say SMT right there. Form SMT with fair value gap with order block, and then we end up taking all this low resistance liquidity right here, and that was just beautiful delivery to offer. Honestly, I'm kind of underwhelmed because I feel like I wanted to have like a good explanation on what price did, and I felt like I wasn't as structured as well. Like I'm definitely not like good at explaining things, but this is just my interpretation on price. And yeah, today's price action was very nice. I'm sure there's probably something else that I can dig out of this, and there's always gonna be something that you see in price that you never saw before, and it's always nice to see. But overall, what did the market do? Like if we're just going to take a step back, keep in mind that we have CPI and FOMC tomorrow. So that in itself, I was a little bit cautious today because we have CPI and FOMC today. I wasn't expecting much, and we end up having a beautiful algorithmic delivery like this. Okay, that's when you just sit back and say, okay, I wasn't expecting good price action today, but we end up having good price action today. That's going to happen. There's going to be times when you're not expecting something, and then it happens. But with these underlying concepts and everything that I showed today, you're able to anticipate the likely outcome. So we come up market 930 Judas swing. That's classic Judas swing. We're taking out all these buy stops here to then come back down to take sell stops to cause more pain within the market to then form SMT at a certain time of the day, 9:50. That's when AM session moves usually start. 9:50 to 10:10, that macro usually starts that silver bullet. Then we get change state delivery on the 1 minute. We expand out. We expand higher. If we look at the 15 minute, what are we respecting? New week opening gap here. And we're respecting the 1 hour order block, 1 hour fair value gap. Then we end up taking these highs here. We've taken buy stops. Okay, we've done that mission. Then we're gonna come back down to what? Generate liquidity and to trick shorts in the market or to run on profitable stops. Maybe people have their stops jammed up here. So we've now generated liquidity, and we are primarily seeking to rebalance to this imbalance and to that new day opening gap. Then price changes its state of the delivery. We have a smart money reversal confirmed with SMT. Then we come back down into down close candles at a certain time at that news release. to then have expansion higher, to then come back down right into a new day opening gap and into an imbalance and into down close candles, to then displace higher, and then to then consolidate, to then create another fractal in price, to then expand higher. And then this draw on liquidity or this previous high gets used as support because it's paired with a fair value gap. And yeah, I don't think I really have much else. I don't think I really have much else to really say. But if we look at order flow here, even on the 15-minute time frame, okay, maybe this 1 minute time frame right here, price looks like it's reversing. Price looks like it's reversing right here. But if we zoom out to the 15-minute, all this is a 15-minute retracement into a fair value gap, into down close candles, into a new day opening gap, into a new week opening gap, to then expand higher. But overall, today's price action was absolutely amazing. Everything that you wanted to see, everything that I look to see in the market, I'm looking for that 9:30 Judas and then 10 a.m. expansion. And then we also had, I forgot to mention, but this was the PM session silver bullet right there. PM session silver bullet. Manipulation candles down, and then fair value gaps back up. All right, so if we look at what price is at right now, ahead of CPI and FOMC. Ahead of CPI and FOMC tomorrow, we have price action that looks like this. I don't expect anything. In fact, I just expect to see ES come up and, well, we already have taken this high here, but I don't know. I simply don't know. And just by looking at this is bullish. I expect to see possibly bullish continuation until proven otherwise, unless we have a change in state of delivery. But just by looking at this price action, if I were to look at this, I'm expecting just consolidation. And the fact that we have CPI and FOMC, I'm pretty curious on what price action will do tomorrow. Let's pull up YM. I want to see YM. In terms of YM, we have taken this high here, and we have all these equal lows here. I think YM could be bearish. We've left these lows here as well. All going to see what price action does tomorrow. But tomorrow, no doubt, is definitely a day to be risk off. Definitely a day to not really look to engage in the markets. We're in all-time highs, and we have CPI and FOMC. Just let price do what it wants to do. There's going to be always more opportunity within the markets. If we look at DXY as well, it's hard for me to read this pair, or not pair, but read DXY. I don't know. I think that we still have unfinished business back here. If we look at the weekly fair value gap, we've crouched a short-term low here, right within that fair value gap. We never took this low here. We have touched the bottom end of that. If we look on the daily, we have these equal lows here. So I really don't think that DXY is going to come up and take these highs yet. I don't think DXY is going to come up to take these highs until we come back down and meaningful manipulate and come into this daily order block. I think that price is going to come back down, offer fair value at this order block, and then start this buy program. So I think this is just manipulation fair value gaps. I think that there's no clear intention of price really displacing higher here. You also have this gap here. You also have this new week opening gap, or volume imbalance, whatever you want to call it, right here from Friday to Sunday. Why did that not display? So I want to see CPI FOMC manipulate dollar lower. So that would set the stage for higher prices on the indices. Anyways, that's all I have for today. We'll be back tomorrow, and I'm going to start doing daily case studies as well. Daily price action breakdowns with case studies, just for me to get better at breaking down price action, and also just to have. I will be doing those every single day, as well as like market reviews. And I don't know if I'll be live every single day. I'll kind of like play around with what days I want to be live, but I've set the primary focus for me to not be. I don't care to be live as much, but really trying to provide value with these, or not value, but just to deepen my understanding with price action. But anyways, that's all I have for this today, and as always, you're not going to get anything out of watching my video because these videos are for me, most importantly. And also, like, looking back at this, where else did we trade right into on NQ? Right into this imbalance here. Right into this down close candles on NQ. Anyways, have a good one, y'all.